Yeah. Which, by the way, for everyone out there, he did not tell me to say this. Best marketing by far. We've done cold calling. We've done PPL services. We've done other PPC services.
Yep.
Nothing has compared so far, and the numbers show it.
Biggest deal that you guys have done so far?
63,000 in Ripley, West Virginia.
63,000.
Correct.
Novation, like it basically in the middle of nowhere, and we novated that deal, and it was actually to date our easiest transaction that we have ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
So break it down for me.
So we got a lead, and we were actually working. This is his method actually, which was working dead wholesalers PPC leads. And we would then convert them into Novation. So this is something that like he brought, and then we figured out how to.
So wait, let me pull it back.
Yeah.
So you're working other wholesalers' dead PPC leads.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when we first started, we didn't have all this capital to start spending on like PPC and cold calling and everything right away.
Right.
And so it's like, well, what other way do we get leads? Well, there's driving for dollars, all these sorts of ways. But one way I found was I would have VAs that were willing to work off commission, and I would simply just bring them in, as many as I could possibly find, and just get as many wholesalers that I knew in Facebook groups and say, send me all of your dead leads. Anything I close, I'll give you commission. Get a list of a few hundred, sometimes 1,000, and would just rip them as much as we possibly could. And because we knew Novations, it was perfect. Everyone was trying to wholesale, and that's why they were dead. Mm-hmm. But, small town in Ripley, West Virginia was nothing to us. So we just novated it.
So you go into Facebook groups nationwide?
Yep.
How do you pick the right groups?
I simply just looked up real estate groups, started there. Then I went to investor real estate groups. Then I did wholesaler groups. And then specific areas that, like, if maybe we wanted to target them more, I would do, like, Florida real estate investor groups, right? Just kind of, like, niching it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the benefit to us that no one could really do at the time was we could do deals anywhere. So we were just trying to get as much outreach as possible versus like very niche specific.
Yeah, but you're not even meeting these people. You have no relationship with them.
Nope.
How are you building the trust that they're like, yeah, I'm gonna take 45 minutes, an hour out of my life, give it to this strange 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 18, 18. You're 19 now.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm going to just send an Excel list of my old dead leads to this 18-year-old that sent me a DM on Facebook.
Exactly.
What are you saying? Is it like a magic script that you're using?
So, I mean, a big part of it is, kind of like the negotiation aspect, like letting them know, hey, what we do, how they're going to be involved. And so a big thing that we did was like provide live updates for them. So in that shared sheet, I would track everything. So as things went along,
how did they give you the sheet? That's what I'm saying. How do you? If somebody DM'd me, and I'm sure I get these, but all Honda handles that. If somebody DM'd me and said, "Hey, I want all your dead leads, and then I'll send you a commission on it," I would ignore it.
Well, the thing.
So how do you get past the shield, so to speak?
Well, it was a lot of the times with these VAs, right? Because that's where it originated from. Is they're looking for work. So they need work. And so a lot of the times I would pitch it to them. I was like, you have nothing to lose necessarily. Maybe it's a few extra, 30 minutes to an hour out of your day, but you really have nothing to lose. So like, why wouldn't you? That's kind of how I pitch it. Now, yes, there's a time aspect, and I confronted that by like, look, I understand what it is. People that were like very like skeptical about it, I would put something in writing stating, hey, you provide the leads, I'll give you X commission of anything that closes, and that would tend to obviously close it out. But majority of them, surprisingly, believe it or not, were very open to it because it's coming from like a, hey, you're not going to necessarily be doing as much work as you may think. The idea of it is to provide the leads, right? Just give us something and we'll work the rest.
So how did the VAs fit into this? I don't understand what the VA
part of this is. Would call. So it's a lot of the times there's two ways about it. The VAs would have a bunch of old leads just themselves that they could provide. And the second option was
virtual assistants.
Correct.
So you're reaching out to Facebook groups and getting a hold of virtual assistants?
Yep. Believe it or not, that's where they all are at. Now, not the most quality ones, I will say, but there's a lot in there because they're all looking for work.
Sure.
And when they look for work, that's where they go. And so that's why it's like, okay, well, I can, target 100 different VAs that are going to reach out to me. And that's, 10 to 20 VAs would reach out to me a day, just making posts. So there was a lot of them.
So you made a post in these Facebook groups.
Yep. I'd make about, for 3 months straight, I'd make about one in every single post every single night. 3 months straight every single night.
And post what?
Literally just, I'm looking for VAs open and willing to work, or looking for any type of work or a commission on the side.
There it is.
All of it just keeps rolling.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. So you're making these posts. These guys are reaching out, and you say, hey, listen, do you have dead leads that,
Yeah, so
that you've been working, but nothing's happening with them?
Yeah, so there's two different ways to go about it. One is the VAs sometimes would have old leads that they'd be like, hey, I have a list, I can just give them to you. And I'd be like, fine, say no less, send them, I'll give you a commission. Other times we'd use them specifically, like we'd have other lists as well. And instead of me personally cold calling, because I'm not a big fan of it, I'd be like, hey, if you can call off of these, right, I'll give you a commission of anything that closes from you calling them. And so that's kind of how it would play into a factor. Every VA was different, but that's kind of how we went about it.
Got it. So you're either getting the leads from them or you're giving them leads
Exactly.
to call.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. How'd you figure this out?
Just trial and error. I'm a big proponent on F around and find out. I don't know, can we curse on this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm a big proponent on fuck around and find out.
Sure.
And through it, I just started learning shit, and I was just like, wait a second. 10 to 20 people are reaching out to me a day? Like, why don't I just do more of this that's working and then write it out for as long as we possibly can? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I went about it.
So then Ripley, Pennsylvania?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Mm-hmm. This is one of those leads?
Yep. So this went on for about total of, in terms of closing deals, 6 months. We closed about, I want to say, maybe 15 deals off of it, right about $200,000 in terms of assignment fees. Paying overhead was about $150 a month. So you can do the math. It's pretty good margins.
It's a good ROI, yeah.
Now, the only thing behind it is it's not very sustainable, which is why, it's just we took advantage of it while we could.
Sure.
And yeah, so it went out for about 6 months, and that's kind of how I eventually met him, was when I had all these leads. I was like, fuck, how am I going to find agents?
Right.
What am I going to do?
Right.
And so then that's how we met.
So then you get this lead, and who's doing the follow-up?
So this was actually
appointments?
This was actually one of those. So again, we're all virtual, so we don't do any in person.
Yeah.
This was like one of the last deals we closed and part of that. But the way that it works is my job is marketing and acquisition. So I'll call them, lock them up, get them under contract. And then since Josh, obviously his previous experience as an agent, he's very good at speaking with agents, building relationships. And so he was obviously getting the agents to list the property, managing them, making sure the transaction closes smoothly. And that's how our business works from there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you find the right agents?
You got to qualify them based off of open-mindedness. That's a big thing.
Sorry, yeah. I keep starting you guys, and then I keep reverting back. Because I think it's important to help people really see the full picture here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in Novation,
right,
it's different than wholesale,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So with Novation, essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a conventional buyer that's going to get a loan, that's going to pay for these properties that, for the most part, now sometimes they're destroyed, but for the most part, can get a conventional loan.
Yeah.
Is this one of those situations?
So, yeah, and I don't mean to even keep digging deeper and deeper, but we novate everything, by the way. Doesn't matter if it's a piece of land burnt out, house, tear down. Mm-hmm. Novation is just an exit strategy.
Yeah.
It's basically instead of assigning the deal to one party, you're just replacing one party with another. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's just
that's what novate means.
That's it, right? That's the legal term of novation. So we just see it as, why not use the most powerful marketing tool in real estate to market our deals out? And
the
then
MLS?
Yeah, the MLS. Yeah. And then why, on top of that, instead of us hiring a whole boots on ground team and paying out these people, why not just find agents who are hungry to work off a commission anyways? We pay them out at closing. They get a pay out of the sale price, and then it doesn't affect us that much. And they're going to the properties, doing the evaluations, getting the photos. They're giving us the CMA. They're coordinating the showings, putting their own lockbox on it, which we don't pay for. They pay for. Mm-hmm. And then they're actually going out finding an end buyer, and they're happy to do it because they're
What's a CMA?
A comparative market analysis. So it's where they go ahead and they find the subject property, they run comps on that, and they put together this report to determine, hey, what's the average days on market, what's the absorption rate looking like, and then what's the fair market value for a house like this, and where do we need to come in at to be competitive and actually get this house sold.
Why is absorption rate important?
It's important because it shows you how active the market is. So typically, we work nationwide, so we need to see, okay, Ripley, West Virginia, we don't know what the hell that is. We've never even stepped foot there.
Population about 600 people.
Yeah. So we're okay, this is the middle of nowhere. However, If we can just see, like, how many properties are active? 10. How many are under contract? 5. So that's 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an active market here. So this is still a good deal. We can be a little bit more aggressive on our pricing. So that matters. Like when we're going up and we're looking at these CMAs, we're looking at like what's the days on market, like what's the absorption rate to how many properties are active versus how many are under contract, and that helps us tell the price of what should we come in at.
Yeah, got it. And how do you find the right agent?
So finding the right agent comes down to their open-mindedness.
I mean, in Ripley, West Virginia, there's only one agent. That's pretty easy, but no.
And they're like, oh, well, we don't use phones. We use, flip phones out here, right?
Send a fax.
It's like, hey, this is what it is. Come on. So it would all come down to how open they are to the process. That's going to be one thing. Their experience. We like to shoot for... sometimes we've had luck with like 20, 30 years, but it's one of those things where, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So we found like the sweet spot of being like 2 to 7 years of experience in real estate.
Okay.
Typically being on like the younger side, like where it's like under 30, 30 and below.
Sure.
And then also just like the hunger. Like, do they have it? So we have a couple, what we call them like the killer lethal agents on our team, where they'll do whatever it takes to get the deal done, just like us.
Yeah.
So they also, another thing that we've noticed is like they're investor friendly. That's going to be a huge thing. Do they already work with investors, like fixer, flippers, and do they also do their own wholesales on the side? So the ones who work with investors, even have their own flips and do their own wholesales, we love working with those type of agents because they get it, right? It doesn't take that much explaining, and they probably already have done a Novation in the past as well. We do not deal with like the Karen type of agents, right? They don't get it. They don't understand it. In the beginning when we were first doing it, we had to be careful because they would try to like snake us, like pretend they were with us just to get the address, which had happened to us one time, just to get the address, and then try to go to the property, knock on the owner's door, and try to take the listing from us. Now, thank God we do everything with full disclosure, so the owner notified us and we were still good. But like that's something that you have to be careful for. So that's why we dig deeper. We know that we're interviewing them. Like, we're giving you a free listing. You didn't have to pay for this. This is free commission right here. Yeah. And you don't have to deal with emotions. It's just strictly numbers with us. Like, does the numbers make sense, yes or no? And it's not just one listing every 3 to 5 years that you might get out of us like any other regular homeowner. This is a listing a month as long as you just stay cool and do what you're supposed to do. So it's like it's 100% a benefit for them, and we are the ones that are in control and interviewing them. As long as we have that mindset of, like a lot of people are scared because the big real estate agent, but it's not that scary. Like, we're providing them free leads and free listings on like a silver platter.
Do you think you're more confident speaking with real estate agents or realtors because you're licensed?
100%. Yeah, if I know the real estate agent lingo, because like I said, I've been doing that since I was 18.
CMA, absorption rate,
all of that.
Days on market,
so
right?
It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
How like this is a perfect timing, I'd say, because I don't really know what I know wholesaling. We've done wholesale. Don't get me wrong. We've ripped lists of 100, 200, call through everybody and assigned a deal. Yes, but when he hit me up, I didn't even know what JV meant. I thought this guy was the investor and he had the deal. So I'm over here running to the deals thinking he owns it. Turns out it's a wholesaler that owns it, and he's daisy-chaining the wholesaler. And I remember I got mad at him. I'm like, yo, Tyler, what the fuck is this? Like, what are you doing? He's like, no, trust me. I have real leads now. Let's rip it. But, no, I definitely believe my real estate agent background not only helped me in knowing, but it also helped me in, like, ethics. So I feel like a lot of wholesalers nowadays, they don't have that like ethical stand behind them where like they actually care about helping these people.
Sure.
So I'm grateful for my real estate agent background because it actually helped me provide a service for these people and like give a damn.
So I totally agree, by the way.
Yeah.
You've got VAs giving you this list in West Virginia. You've got VAs calling this list.
Yep.
They send the lead over to you.
Yep.
You go and lock it up as a Novation.
Yep.
So first of all, you lock it up in a purchase agreement.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And then what is the additional paperwork that goes along with the purchase agreement to be able to set it up so that you can do a Novation?
Yeah, so it's you want to have a regular main, purchase agreement, purchase and sale.
Are you using the realtor specific one in that area? You're
so
using
we have
your
our
own.
own. We have our own. It's about, I don't know, maybe 3 pages long or so. It's very basic, very simplified, like the traditional wholesale one. But what we do is we add on additional documents. So there's like 2 main additional documents we add. The first one is the Novation and Indemnification Agreement. And that one is specifically outlined what our process is. So it'll specifically state, we're going to market this property to our third-party buyers, okay? And once our end buyer is under contract, we replace ourselves, so therefore the buyer's under contract with you, and we get our fee, the delta. As well as another part on there, too, which not a lot of people talk about, where we take on a lot of responsibility for the seller, meaning if repairs come up, we just had a deal that's actually from TTP expected to close today. $45,000 deal turned out to be $40,000 because they offered seller concessions.
Sure.
So when things like that come up and repairs come up, we take that on for the seller, so they're not coming out of pocket. And so that specifically states on the Novation Indemnification Agreement, and which is then the last one, the third piece. It's called, you might have heard of it as an AIF, or it's like an authorization to sign listing docs. So again, we want it to be as streamlined and...
What does AIF stand for?
Authorization to sign listing documents, or attorney in fact.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's both. But a lot of the contracts, it'll be AIF, but it'll say authorization to sign listing docs.
Is that it? Is that the only authority that you have, is just to sign the listing docs?
So it's not a full... It's a lot of people get it confused. They're like, oh, it's a power of attorney. It's not.
No.
It's specifically designed, and it specifically states we just sign listing documents, right, with the agent to get it up and market it to our buyers. And we always let the seller know, you are signing off on closing documents and collecting your check. This is simply just to get it up and market it out to the buyers. Therefore, you don't have to do as much as possible.
And offers, by the way. This is a big thing when it comes to novations. You want to make sure, like, especially if it's a conventional or a FHA, you are not signing off on those offers. Like, do not sign off on a conventional, like, home buyer, retail buyer loan offer. You will get in so much trouble, and the deal will blow up in your face. So, like, we only sign, although it is an authorization to sign listing docs and offers, we do not sign any loan offers. Now, if it's cash, we just switch it to an assignment, and then just do like a referral form with the agent to pay them out at close with their brokerage, but just to make everything easier. But when it's like a home buyer, we let the seller know, like the homeowner, hey, this is the offer we got in, this is what's going. Remember, we reiterate the whole process again, how we're coming in value, how easy it was, have them sign off on it with the verification showing that it came from their email, and then we send that to the agent and then to the title company, and everything goes smoother. So a lot of common mistakes that we see, like, with novations, because we have, like, some students now, we don't have a full-out program rolled out because we wholesale. That's our business.
Yeah, sure.
But, like, with the few people that we do help, we notice, like, make sure the agent doesn't put your LLC on the listing docs or doesn't put your LLC on the offers, because the lender's going to look at that, especially an FHA lender, and they're going to be like, who the hell is ABC Home Buyers? This doesn't line up with what's on title, red flag. Right?
Yeah.
Now it causes for a whole bunch of other problems. And then it delays with the underwriters. Now they're asking for additional information. Now they want to do a full audit on you, your LLC, and it's just a whole thing. So,
well, in some lender, I mean, a lot of underwriters for the lenders look at the seasoning of title. How long has this property been owned? How many owners has it had over a certain amount of time? That's part of the underwriting process. So that's what catches that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, wait, this LLC's, wait, are they supposed to be on title? They're not on title. Who's selling this, right?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, great advice there. So the seller is signing now a purchase agreement with you at what price?
Whatever. So the way we work
specifically for Ripley, West
Virginia. This one was
167.5.
It was 162,500.
160. I do that too. I switch the twos and
sevens.
Yeah,
it's weird.
162.5, and then you then get an offer. You put it on the market at how much?
250,000. And while it might seem like, oh, that's like a 90, 80K spread right there.
Right.
One thing you have to account for with novations is because everything comes out of our spread. Agent commissions, title fees, concessions, if any, and so after that $250,000 offer,
repairs,
that spread ended up being about $63,000, like net.
So, I'm the seller. I'm like, okay, guys, I'll sell it to you for 162.5, and then you're like, okay, well, we're gonna put this on the market and we're gonna sell this for a profit. You good with that? And they're like, Yeah, sure. And then they get the offer at $250.
Yeah, and they see
they're signing.
Yep.
And they know, in their mind, or maybe not, but in my mind, it'd be like, wait, there's $80,000 difference here. Yeah, there's some costs and whatever else, but these guys are going to make a significant amount of money.
It just comes down to the pitch in terms of how you set it up. So like a large part of everything with the Novation is setting expectations. So everything we do on all my sales calls and all my acquisition reps is set it up properly so the seller is fully aware of what is being done and how we're of value to them. Mm-hmm. So we don't go to them and just say, hey, here's X price, we're going to list it on the market, because they're going to be like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what we do is we deeply or go in depth and explain like what exactly we're going to be doing for them. So, hey, you have the original cash offer, which might take about 30 or so days to close, but it's more than likely not going to be where you want it to be. Now, if you want more money and you're flexible on time frame, there is a process we can do. And we always do it in a questionable tonality because we want them to be open-minded to it.
Sure.
Right? And from there, usually they're like, oh, okay, well, tell me more, because who wouldn't, right? More money, just a little bit of a different time frame. Yeah, of course I'm going to listen. And so from there, we go in depth and we explain to them, hey, the way we do this is we will have a higher price for you. Okay, it will take a little bit longer. And in that process, we're going to market it to our buyers to ensure we get you that higher price point. Okay. And usually from there, we'll kind of break down some more steps in terms of how that process looks, just so they're fully prepared. That way, once it does hit the dispo end, they already know what's going on. And a key thing we also do is no matter whenever they sign that offer, we always reiterate, look, there's more coming out of this than what it may seem. So like Ripley, right? 162.5, 250, probably looks like we're making 80 something or 90 something thousand, right? But there's 20, 30 grand that came off of that because, again, we pay for commissions, title fees, all this stuff.
Sure.
And so when we pitch it in the aspect of, hey, this is a service, right? We want you to know we are going to be marketing it. We are going to be making money. And the service is what we're going to provide to you in turn. They're almost 9 times out of 10 okay with it.
So the benefit for them is it's hands off.
Correct. And that's why we even have the AIF, right? Sign the listing docs and offers when applicable and when need be.
Were they living there?
In this case, it was actually a weird case. He was not. It was his second home, and it was his retirement. He wanted to retire, and he knew exactly what we were doing. He was like, dude, I don't live there. I just want to be able to get this number. This is what I need. I said, say no more. We'll get it taken care of.
And that's it. And he knew how much you were making.
Yep,
yeah.
And he was very,
we didn't
one
double
of the
close
best
it
deals
either.
we've ever had.
It was on the HUD. He didn't double close. He knew he was cool with everything.
Right. Well, you're not going to double close a Novation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it just all comes down to setting expectations in the beginning. So because we set it up, let him know exactly what we were doing. Yeah, he may see a high, difference in spread. But again, you're right. I mean, we provided that entire service. And so to him, that was worth it. And most sellers say the same thing.
Do you ever run into a situation where the seller's like, wait a second, I
Surprise?
want to cancel this right now. This is ridiculous. This is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
You guys are making so much money off of me. You're taking advantage of
Try and
me.
walk
Let's
out.
cancel it.
Surprisingly, no.
It's never happened.
It's happened maybe like once or twice, and the one time it happened was because it was a mess up on the acquisition end. We didn't set the expectation that we cover all closing costs other than mortgage, liens, and taxes.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So yes, closing costs we cover, but the things that are issued to the seller, we do not cover. And we learned that the hard way. We were supposed to make $21,000 on a deal. Seller showed up, said, why am I paying the taxes? Now, of course, because I didn't set the expectation up front, he thought that was taken care of. Long story short, we ended up having to settle for a $14,000 spread. We can't complain, but we just lost $7,000 because I didn't set that expectation.
Sure.
Only other aspect was the dude just wasn't that motivated. Every other time, there's never been an issue because that expectation is set up front and they see firsthand the value, right? So they understand what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, why we're doing things the way that we do it. So when it actually happens, they're like, oh, they're doing exactly what they told me. They're going to make some money in return. We don't just, we don't do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they sign off at the end. It's all disclosed. And they sold their house, and you guys are on to the next deal.
Yeah, and actually what's funny enough, too, is we consistently, not every single seller, but consistently get a lot of sellers who will, reach out to us later down the line. We have this one seller that was 3 to 4 months after we closed it, wishing us Merry Christmas and all these things, because it was to them, a lot of the times they're going through something major, right? In any aspect, whatever it could be. And for someone like us to just come along and say, look, we understand. We know that you're probably getting lowballed right now by a lot of these wholesalers. What if we can get you a higher number and take care of everything else for you? It's just going to be a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Every single time they're like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's convenience.
It is.
You know, when it comes down to selling a property, speed, convenience, and price. And the sellers get to pick two.
Yep.
If they want the speed and convenience, then they have to work on the price.
Exactly.
I mean, they have to work on the price that makes sense to the investor.
Yep.
Or the wholesaler, or the novator, or whatever label you want to have. But that is what it is. But that is it is very hard for a lot of people to understand, especially coming from a realtor background, real estate agent background, right?
Yeah.
Where we're taught fiduciary duty, you got to get the most possible for these property owners and all those things, right? And so a lot of people are really confused on the process, and they're like, wait, what's going on? You must be duping them. You must be tricking them into this.
Yeah.
And in reality, you're going, hey, listen, this is the service we provide. Is this a price that you're going to be happy with?
Yeah. I love breaking it down to like perspective with the sellers, and this is what I train all my acquisition reps and all students in our program. What happens a lot, at least that I've noticed with the majority of wholesalers, is they tend to just come out, and I did this when I first started, and just give offers and just like say the number as if it's like you just got to throw it out there and hopefully they say yes. What I found though is when you put it into a much more easygoing perspective and like a questionable tone versus like take it or leave it, no, okay, bye, right? There's so much more open to it, and that's where like the sellers who are getting offered $50,000 take our $35,000 offer because they trust us, and we put it into a perspective where it's like you were saying, there's two offers, okay? If you want to close really, really fast, we can do that. I'm going to be honest with you though, that price is going to suffer. Now, if you're more flexible on time frame, we can get that price up. Is this something you're open to doing? 9 times out of 10, the seller's like, yep, give me both. I mean, of course, because now they see it as like, well, if this is going to be short, price is going to have to suffer. If I want more, I got to wait longer. I'm okay with waiting longer. Perfect. Say no more. I'll get both of them approved for you.
The most important thing that we really discovered, and that I really discovered, but it was really defined well by my acquisition manager, Ryan, was finding out one simple question. What is your goal with this property? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the discovery process. That's what you do on the acquisitions.
Exactly.
Because it's like, okay, what is your goal with this destroyed house?
Yeah.
Right? Do you want to sell it as is and make an illiquid asset liquid fast? Then here's the price. Do you want to fix it up and then put it on the market and get as much as possible? Great. Do you want to fix it up and keep it? Like what is your goal with this property? You've reached out to us. We're having a conversation about selling this property. What do you want to achieve?
Exactly.
And if you really get that down, if you really understand that skill, that's when you know how to cater an offer for that specific seller. And I'll tell you, I would say 7 out of 10 of our PPC, so we work with you guys on the PPC side, 7 out of the 10 PPC leads that we have, we tell them, you need to list this on the market, right? Because their goal is, I want to get as much as possible. Right? They want it fast. They want it convenient, but that's not. This isn't the market. This isn't the market where you just put a house on the market and it sells in 15 offers. In 1 day type of thing. You know, and so 7 out of 10, we're like, here's a great real estate agent that we work with. You know, go get this sold on the market. You're going to achieve your goals. The other 3 out of 10. I mean, these properties are not beautiful. These properties are destroyed, and it's either do you have the capital to fix it up, or do you want to sell it as is as fast as possible? And when that happens, then we never tell them what they should sell their house for. We only tell them what we can buy it for. And that's a big difference. That's the biggest difference in this business versus I think anything else in real estate.
I mean, it's all comes down to perspective. And like you were saying too, like with the listing, that's one thing that I picked up on a lot is I think it's on the no limit sales system, the stealth mismatch. Taking something to the farthest end of the spectrum to test how motivated they really are. And so I'll do that with leads where it's like, you know what, I think based off what you're wanting, you might just want to list it with the realtor. Have you ever thought about that? And it varies, but 50% of the time, the seller's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm never going to do that. And so then I'll ask them, I'll say, well, do you understand that what you're asking right now would be what you would have to list it for? And then they're like, well, no, but okay. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Right now it opens up a door, and now it's like, okay, what is it, like you were saying? What is it that you want? You can't have everything. But if you prioritize one thing over the other, let's focus on that, and I'll do what I can to work out the rest for you in return.
It's really interesting. Why? I'm just curious because I have a perspective on this. Why don't people want to list with an agent in your experience?
It's actually surprising. I get that question a lot all the time too. If you speak with sellers, you will know firsthand, but if you don't, the main reason is, one, not all agents do this. I don't know if this guy did it. I don't think he did.
Hey, I was top agent. I was top G agent here.
But but what they'll do is not all the time, but what they'll do is they'll increase what their list price may be, or make higher promises to get the listing, to get themselves in the door. And
they'll lie to them.
Yeah.
It's fraud.
Yeah. And
so
it is. And so what happens is that those listings will get dragged out 6, 12, sometimes even 2 years. And the sellers, all it takes is one bad experience.
Yep.
And that's when they all come to us, even a simple question of, well, why aren't you going to list it? Every single time. Oh, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not paying commissions. I'm not dealing with showings. I'm not paying concessions and waiting for it to be dragged out. And those are the biggest things. And it doesn't seem like it. But if you just encounter a seller, like I'll encourage people, like students in our program, go to a seller and ask them, why aren't you going to list this property? Every single person that comes back, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Because you just hear the way the sellers talk about it. And they'll just go on and on. They can talk for hours about it. But it's like, surprisingly, it happens a lot more than you'd expect.
Bad experiences with agents.
Yep.
Yeah. Embarrassment.
Yep.
To have their home, pictures of their home.
Yep.
Exposed to the world.
Yep.
Truly. And the
additional
the
costs.
other one, this is a great example. I went as an agent, and it was a referral, just a family friend referral, and the gal didn't know what she wanted to do with the house. And I at the time I was kind of playing, hey, listen, I can list the house for you, or I can give you a cash offer from this investor that I'm working with, right? I hadn't quite made the full transition to me being the principal buyer.
Perspective.
But I knew, because I talked to I had an idea of the condition of the house, and it had a crack in the foundation and all this stuff. And I said, if you put about $15,000 into the house, you could get this price. And I think at the time it was like $260,000.
Yeah.
And I said, or I have this investor that would offer you like $130,000.
Yeah.
Right? And but you don't have to do anything, and there's not going to be showings. He's just going to buy it. And so it was $130,000 difference. I mean, truly it was 50% of what it would be if she put $15,000 into it. And she said, she goes, I have the money to put into the house, but and she had this big old dog that she had to keep in the guest room. And she's like, this is my dog's house. Okay. This is my dog's house.
Oh, wow.
And he will bite anybody that comes in here. And I'm not going to remove my dog every time somebody wants to come see my house. And she literally took 50% of what she could. Now, if she'd have to put some work into it. But she literally took the $130,000 offer because she didn't want the dog biting anybody. She didn't want to disrupt the dog. You know what I mean?
You never would expect it, but like you were saying, it's perspective. Like when you put it, if you were to come out and just say, hey, you could do this, or you can take 150. Which one? She's gonna be like, F you. Like I'm gonna take this or nothing. But because you put it into perspective, it's the biggest thing of it all.
Well, it's the convenience factor.
Yeah.
It's a convenience for her, and it didn't come down to the money.
Yeah.
And listen, I understand. 90% of the sales come down to money.
Yeah.
But 10% don't. And the 10% is where we live.
Exactly.
10%, and that's why from the outside looking in, it doesn't make sense to people why they would do a novation.
Yeah.
Why they would sell their house for 50% of what they could if they just fixed it up and did showings and got their dog. Took their dog on a walk. During an open house or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really interesting. So, how do you guys know each other?
So, the story is, it's funny. the way it started, he kind of mentioned earlier, where it was like originally I reached out to him because I was trying to find a buyer. So when I was in high school, my senior year,
last year.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Last year. I was originally committed to play baseball in college, and this is just a little backstory, just because it'll make sense. It was a JUCO in Kansas, Barton County.
All right.
And I was originally committed. All I ever did in my life was baseball. Biggest thing, all I did was train, think about it, whatever. However, it was getting to a point where it was over-consuming my life. Couldn't sleep, couldn't hang out with friends, couldn't do anything because all I ever thought about was baseball, sit in a mirror, practice mechanics for 3 hours straight. All I ever thought about. Until my senior year, early on, I needed to find something to take my mind off of it. And of course, like any other teenage does, why not make money? And so I started looking into wholesaling. And a few months in, as I'm kind of going through it, just fucking around and finding out, trying to help people who have wholesale deals, just JV, daisy chain, right, as most tend to do. And I had this one deal in Chicago. And I'm looking for buyers, trying to call around, and he's one of the agents, because I'm trying to call agents. And I call him up, and he didn't answer at first, and so then all of a sudden I went to lunch. All of a sudden I get a call back. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, he's actually calling back? Get up, sprint to the bathroom. I'm in the last stall, just like, yo, what's up? And he's just like, what are you at? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, this is the lockbox code. This is what you can do. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And long story short, that's kind of how we met. I went back to that lunch table, and as most do, I convinced myself I was going to make $20,000. I did not. Didn't even do anything on that deal. But ever since then, that's where we started. And I just, moving forward, was like, yo, are you cool if I just like send you all the deals that I get? And he was like, bro, send them all. Mm-hmm. And so then from there, we just kind of started doing our own thing.
Did you have a lot of buyers?
Yeah, I had a shit ton of buyers. Because all I worked with, because nobody would take me serious as like an 18-year-old kid, right? So I was like, okay.
You got your license at 18?
Yeah, at 18. Like the minute I graduated high school, I was like, dude, I'm not going to college. I just want to make money.
Why not?
Why not college?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to college to study business for waste 4 years. No, I wanted to make money quick.
You wanted to be in business.
Yeah, I wanted to be in business. I wanted to make money quick. And then also, like, my mother and my father, they owned a construction company. So I was always around it. And then my father passed away when I was 14. And it was just my mother. So I was like, dude, I don't want to waste time jacking off in college. I need to like do something now and help out the family company too. So I got my license, and I actually listed one of our construction homes. That's where he called me from. But no, I just wanted to make money quick. But I had the way that I was able to gain a clientele was going to investors and saying like, hey, I'm going to bring you, like, what do you want? And I would go out and I would show them properties. I'd send them deals. I'd underwrite it, comp it for them. I remember like I would do everything for these people, and it didn't matter if I was 18 anymore because I'm doing what other realtors won't do. I'm going to the properties, getting photos for them. I'm showing them the deals. And I actually got my first investor, which is a family friend. He didn't take me serious. He didn't let me list one of his properties. But he's like, I promise I'll let you find me an investment deal. Hardest thing ever, right? But I ended up finding him a property in a very great area. It was actually an estate sale. And they posted it on the private MLS, so you can't see. Like private MLS and MLS is two different. Private MLS only agents can see, and public MLS everybody can see. Mm-hmm. So this was private, and they said, hey, this is an estate sale. The property is going to be listed next week. And I called the agent and was like, yo, when's the estate sale? He's like, well, it's tomorrow. I'm like, we're going to swing by. So there was no showings yet, but we were the first ones to go there. And we actually, like, before he even listed it, got any buyers, we made him an offer right there at the spot. All the siblings were sitting on the round table. And they were, like, arguing. I could see the greed in their faces. But made the offer, locked it up, made money off of that. By that time, I was, like, 19. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. I seen, like, $6,000 commission check. I was like, whoa, I'm rich. Mm-hmm. You know? And then I sold it on the back end. And that was like a $10K commission check, and that was when I was like, all right, Chipotle for everybody,
yeah,
for everybody,
extra guap.
Yeah. But that's how I started to really gain buyers. So when he reached out and he was sending me these deals, I already had such a like plethora of buyers that I was just starting to connect the pieces. The problem was it was like a JV deal, so we didn't have power over it. So yeah, I'd go out there, I'd line up.
You didn't
buyers.
Source it yourself.
Yeah, so
right.
it just get messed up. However, when we got our own leads, Like we had a deal in Chicago. It was like one of our first ones. I'll never forget.
First ever deal.
Stager, Illinois. It was awesome. Like the boons of Illinois. Because we're from there, I knew people who invested in that niche Stager. So the minute he had that deal, within I remember it, he locked it up under contract, and we were like scared shitless. We were like, should we find somebody to JV it? Because he's like, no, dude, just do it. Like, all right, whatever. So I that first day, within that day, I already had 10 appointments set. That next day, we had the deal signed, and I was like, oh wait, we might have something here. This is low key lethal. You just locked it up less, and we just sold the deal in less than 24 or 48 hours, off market, clean.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we get paid a check for $12,400, and we're like, oh shit, this is fast. From being an agent, and then from you doing what you were doing, with the JVs, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We just made this much money in 2 weeks. What the hell is this? It's totally different. Game changer. We didn't look back after that. We just kept ripping it.
And how did you get so good at sales? You're obsessed with baseball. It's not like you're like this. I mean, listen, baseball players are wild. I get it, right? I mean, that whole baseball culture is a lot of fun, and you guys are just wild guys.
Yeah.
But, I mean, did you have a job during this? A lot of I grew up as an athlete. It was my parents made the deal. It's if you have practice after school, you don't have to get a job. So I didn't have any sales job or any. Right. I was always doing that. So, I mean, how did you develop skills?
So it's interesting because me being pretty introverted, I'm not very outspoken. So acquisitions already was going to be usually it's the extroverted guys that excel. But the way that I got into it was I started just seeing videos as anyone does, right? And all of a sudden it got to a point where now that I had these leads, it was either I can learn to become good at sales, or I had this feeling of I'll just be like everyone else. And so I said, well, I'm going to learn to be good at sales 10 times out of 10. And so as it progressed, the way that I did it, and I got, at least in my opinion, I got pretty good really fast, was because I had a plethora of leads and I just had so many, regardless if they were good or not, I was on the phone for 8 to 10 hours every single day. Yeah. And with that amount of time, I just started to pick up on I could tell and feel sellers through the phone. I could switch up how I speak with them. And so I always tell everyone, if a seller has a country accent, I have a country accent. If a seller's throwing in some slang, I'm throwing in some slang. Right?
Mirror and match.
Exactly. Mirroring 100% of the time. And because of that, I was just on the phone for 8 to 10 hours out of the day because I'm very over obsessive based in terms of how I think. That's why baseball, it was working out for me until it didn't. And so when I switched my mindset to, okay, let's go away from baseball so I can enjoy it again, all that obsession went to sales and wholesaling. How can I become as good at this as possible, as fast as humanly possible? And so just through that, just literally 8 to 10 hours, not going out with friends, no party. My parents were like, are you having fun? I remember I was sitting in my dad's office at 7 o'clock at night, just finishing up calling through 20 sellers for the day. And they were just like, your friend said that you haven't been hanging around. Are you okay? I'm like, I feel great. Because it didn't necessarily seem like it, right. But I knew what I was doing eventually was going to pay off. And so just through that time, all that experience, literally just nonstop, sounding stupid as God knows what, a billion times, I eventually just figured it out.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that you talked about mirroring and matching because that's tone of voice and it's pacing. And the interesting thing about our business is it's 85, 90%, and for you guys, 100% over the phone.
100%.
And if you look at any of the any of the tests of human communication, they talk about a huge percentage of human communication is body language.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you don't get to have that when you're on the phone. So you have to develop tone and pacing.
Yep.
That's what's really important. People think it's the words that you say. It's really not.
That's how you say it.
It certainly is asking open-ended questions. That's a tool in the toolbox. It's active listening is there. Having some energy to it, having some conviction behind what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the tone and the pacing is that huge part of body language over the phone. So when people listening to this and watching this, you got to really develop that. If you're going to be in this business, you need to understand how to communicate on the phone, and you need to be fast.
Yeah.
Now, you can get pretty far with DMs. You can get pretty far with texts. You can get pretty far with the speed of communication. That takes you probably 65% of the way there, but 35% of the skills of this business is that tone and pacing. And the only way to develop that is reps.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
100%.
Because we're not sitting in senior year of high school.
Exactly.
And they're like, okay, guys, all right, we're going to call up a bunch of properties that are totally destroyed.
And practice
we're going to talk to these property owners. We're going to see, how these conversations go, right?
Yeah.
This is all trial and error. This is all us figuring out a skill and figuring out a path that we want to go down and a trade that we want to get really good at and really developing that. And that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like a massive proponent. I'm like fucking around and finding out.
Sure.
Like if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have developed the skills. I wouldn't have came across the lead source that I did. Like, I got that lead source, but it took me 3 months of posts every single night, JVing, like trying to lock up deals off Craigslist, Facebook, so much random bullshit. But it's because I went through all of that during that trial and tribulations and all that good stuff, I learned the skill just through reps and repetitions. And I just eventually learned that it's like, I taught myself to be universal, like to adapt to any type of environment that like the second I picked up.
That's the service.
Exactly.
That's how.
Exactly.
Listen, if people are just like, they have to communicate the way that I communicate, you're not going to do anything in this business.
Right.
No.
You're not. Hire somebody, find somebody, partner with somebody that has that skill, because if you don't have that and you're not willing to develop that, you're toast.
Yeah.
You're toast.
100%.
Go flip houses.
Yeah.
For real.
Literally.
Go flip houses. Go design. Go build. Go do those type of things. But if you want to find the absolute best deals and communicate over the phone and work in real estate, whether it's an agent or a investor or whatever else, you got to develop it. And you got to do it with reps.
100%.
And you go through those 8 to 10 hours. Everybody goes through hustle season.
Yeah, if you don't,
everybody.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, that's why like they say all the lottery winners go broke because it's just like they're not worthy of it. It's like it sucks, and like I don't want to hear it. You probably don't want to hear it. No one wants to hear it. But it's like doing that is what makes it all worth it and what makes it actually sustainable in the long run.
Now, Joshua, you were talking about before we started how to build culture, how to get people to work with you, how to grow and scale and all that. So what are the challenges you guys are facing there?
Well, right now I believe we don't have like a large enough reach. All right, so like that's one thing. Like now we're starting to build a brand of not being one of those guys who like tries to be all flashy or whatnot, but being one of those guys that provides value, not to like sell information, but mainly to attract talent and build a team. And then what we're noticing though is, yes, we've been attracting people, but maybe it's not the right type of people that aren't fitting in. But then we want to also, when we do attract those right type of people, they're most likely going to be high talent and killers just like us. So how do we build a culture that's going to, one, attract, but also retain for a long term those type of people?
Yep. Base salaries. You got to give them base salaries.
Pay them what they're worth.
Yeah. Well, you got to give people base salaries. I would say, in your business, our guys are at like $70,000-$80,000 base. You could probably start at $50,000-$60,000 base for the sales side. Now that might sound counterintuitive because people are like, "Oh, don't give bases to sales guys. It won't motivate them." That's totally lies. That it won't motivate people that aren't winners, right? If you hire winners and you give them a base, they'll stay with you. Well, they're going to stay with you.
How do you pick out though? The winners from the non-winners, especially when you're going to be investing that amount into them?
Number one, they have to have a job already.
Okay.
You never hire an unemployed salesperson, right? For real, because if they're unemployed, they're not good at it, right? I mean, people are chomping at the bit. So you always want to recruit the people that already have jobs. That's number one. Number two is you have to have really great inbound leads.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have great inbound leads because winners want to win fast. Yeah. The speed to which they seize success has to be like really, really fast.
Yeah.
The mistake that I made was, hey, I'll just recruit. I was in a real estate brokerage. I'll just recruit all these agents. They're not doing anything anyway. They're doing this. They're sitting in the office all day, just screwing around, putting together CMAs for nobody. You know what I mean?
I remember that. Yeah.
And so I'll just get all these guys and I'll give them some leads and we'll make calls together and it'll be great. None of them last. None of them last. Right? They need something that dropped into their lap, really good leads, the PPC leads, some PPL leads. Maybe it's direct mail. Maybe it's Facebook leads. Maybe it's YouTube leads. Maybe it's whatever it is, referrals, just inbound to where they can go and start getting in front of these property owners and having the quality conversations and winning, right?
Yeah.
And my view on this is the more you have to train them, the worse they are. Okay?
Yeah.
I like that.
No limit sales system, and you're out the door. Seriously. You went through it, right?
I love it.
Huge. Todd Toback.
Some of the best.
Absolutely
ever.
incredible.
Ever.
It's in our mentorship program. Everybody goes through it. It's the absolute best. It really is. But I never trained my guys. Ever trained them. Now, I own a Joe Homebuyer franchise. They have a training for acquisition managers. I send them there for a week in Utah. They're there with all those guys playing basketball and doing sales, and boom, they're ready to rock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly what it is. But the way that I look at it is like a center of the NBA, right? I could practice. I could be I could do so well on the local courts. I could really do awesome, but I'm 5'9". I'm never going to play center for the Suns. You know what I mean? You need to find the center for the Suns. There's people that just are never going to be great at sales. Salespeople, in my opinion, are born. They're not made.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to have that seed in you.
Yeah, we agree.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. You need to give them base salary, and you need to load them up with the highest quality leads possible to win fast.
I like that.
And then you just got to pour into them.
Yeah.
You got to meet with them. You got to go on trips. You got to have goals. You got to connect as often as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, they work with you, not for you.
Yeah.
What is their goals? What are their dreams?
Yeah.
Now, it's a slippery slope if these people want to have their own companies as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like that's just part of it. But how would you say then, because again, we're all virtual, so how would you go about keeping them on as much as possible? Obviously, there's the trips, implementation, and like bringing them in. But what would you say the biggest part to maintaining them on the team and consistently holding up that standard if they're always over the phone? They're not in person.
They need to be in your town. Do you guys live close?
Yeah. Live together.
Live together,
downtown.
Right.
Chicago, yeah.
So find somebody downtown.
Right.
Plenty of talent. You got to be around each other.
Yeah.
At this stage in your business, you have to. If you do the virtual thing and all that, you don't know them well enough. You don't know what's going on with their lives.
Yeah.
You'll get like something out of nowhere. It's going to come out of the side and be like, wait, you're moving to France? Like, what is happening? That's a totally different time zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you need to understand who these people are. You have to understand what their lifestyle's like. You have to understand their morals, their ethics, all those things, right? And so that's really, really important, for sure.
Okay.
Yep. Find people local. You can find them. I mean, you got a city of
We live in Chicago.
It's Chicago.
Third largest.
How many millions of people live there? I mean, you'll be fine.
We found each other, and we're some killers. There's definitely other killers out there. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I listen. I love former missionaries. I love in any religion. I love former police, law enforcement, or military, ex-military. All of those, and that's right in your sweet spot. I mean, you can join. You can get into law enforcement at what 20, 21 or something. I mean, by the time it's 25, 30, I mean, they're sick of it. You know what I mean? Now you grab them, and they understand how to communicate with people in their worst moments. So I think that those three buckets are a really great place to recruit from, and you can find that on LinkedIn. You can find that just connecting with people through social media, all those things.
I like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But the people that are like, hey, I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just teach me what you're doing and that type of thing. That is it's great, and you can mentor them and have a big heart for them, but you should not employ them.
Yeah.
But you need to be at the position where you can give them really, really, really solid leads, and that you can give them a nice base. I would say probably starting out at 40. I would say if you can't, if you're not at the position where you're at 40, 50,000, then just stay in this, just make more.
Yeah. Are you doing commission on top of that?
Yeah.
Okay. What does that look like?
Anywhere, depending on the position, 3 to 6%. But you're all virtual.
With the base too?
Yeah, with the base.
Okay.
Base plus 3 to 6% of the deal.
Got it.
Yeah, and if they're killers, 6. If they're just starting out, 3, until they get to the point where they're just going.
So what are your incentives or like your incentives plans for the, acquisition rep to like always encourage more rather than just the base and the commission? Do you have anything?
Hire 3, keep 2. Hire 4, keep 2. Yeah.
Okay.
How do you create that that competition environment?
Whoever jumps that lead first. PPC lead comes in, who grabs it?
Yep.
On it.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
PPL lead comes in, direct mail call comes in, all those things. Got it. Oh, I'm at an appointment, can't get it. Oh man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's got to be healthy competition, but there's got to be camaraderie. There can't be like animosity towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then you hire winners. So you've got winners that are going to fight over leads. Just makes your job is to make sure that you're a rainmaker of good leads, and keep them accountable to do lead follow up.
Yep.
Because that's their weakness.
Yep.
That's their greatest weakness.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just setting the standard. It sounds like.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah, but it's the system. You got to bring in the leads. You
of
have
course.
to have enough leads. The problem is people go, I'm going to hire 12 cold callers and I'm going to give them so that I can have enough leads for these guys.
Yeah.
And that's great, but it's 1 out of 70, 1 out of 100 leads to deal.
Yeah.
Winners hate that.
Yeah.
They hate you will burn them out and they will quit.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on cold calling then? Do you just not do any cold calling whatsoever?
Not
like
anymore.
With VAs?
I mean, that's how I built my whole business. But that was when I was self-employed.
Yeah.
And then I hired some. I hired for a while, and then to the point where I could get a budget to be able to do enough inbound leads. And then I hired the best pay-per-click Google Ads mind in the world.
And we can attest to that.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. And I mean, these guys are obsessed.
Yeah.
As obsessed as you are, both you guys with this business and baseball and all these things, that's how they feel about Google Ads. And so that's what I look for. You need to have that obsession. You need to have that. Like, I don't manage these guys.
Yeah.
I hire them and they go bananas.
Yeah.
And so that's what you really want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when we got to the point where I was comfortable just increasing budget over time more and more and more for people to go to our website, fill out a form, and get offers from us. I mean, that's when, life changes.
Yeah.
Life changes because the guys were getting burnt out with text leads, cold call leads, all these other things.
Yeah.
And I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And I needed less leads, higher quality, and faster sales cycle.
Well, okay. How confident? Like, let's say you bring somebody new on. How confident are you to just give them PPC leads? Because you're paying top dollar for those. Those are high quality. Are you let's say we're new acts.
Yeah.
And we're coming into your company. Are we immediately touching PPC leads or?
Yeah. Let's go. You either got it or you don't.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Listen, you either got it or you don't. You know what I mean? Now, I'll let you shadow me, and I'll let you go through, a couple weeks of listening to the way that I'm working these. I'm going to go through you need to understand these 4 things: condition of the property, timeline to sell, their motivation, and their price.
Yep.
Like, as long as you can pre-qualify these things and set an appointment as quick as possible, we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Right? With you guys, it's getting to the point where you guys still have offer presentations. It's just over the phone.
Yeah.
And so they need to understand the mechanics of it. But once they understand the mechanics of it, they're apprenticing under you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're the old cobbler that knows how to fix shoes, and they're watching you fix shoes, right? I don't know why a cobbler, but you guys get it.
We get it.
Yeah.
They're apprenticing under you.
Yeah.
And so the right people will be chomping at the bit. Just like, I got it. Let me take it. Let me take it. Yeah. The wrong is, I don't know. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to screw it up. Right?
They don't have it.
You would walk in and be like, yeah, let me call them up.
Give me more.
I'll fail forward on this thing.
Exactly.
And that's what you want. They all have to go through that.
Yeah.
They all have to go through it. So the sooner the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so you would say that you're a big proponent, not necessarily a big proponent, but like kind of like that, test them in a sense by giving them as much leeway as possible to see who they really are versus micromanaging and trying to like make them someone that they're not out to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not. Listen, it's a natural thing.
Yeah,
it's not a made thing.
Yeah,
they're gonna be good at communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, these are you guys know with PPC with inbound leads. This isn't you have to like convince people to sell their house.
No,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's not like over and over and over rejection. And it's not like in PPC they're like, I filled out your form. How dare you call me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get with some direct mail, like you get with some of the other things where you're actively going after them. When it's intent-based leads, the conversations are great.
So much smoother. I mean,
it's just whether or not the house is beautiful or if it's destroyed, whether or not it's a novation or if it's a cash offer or it should be referred to an agent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. And I think if you simplify it and go, okay, when these leads come in, there's 3 buckets that they'll fit into, right? Either listed on the market with an agent, do a novation, or a cash offer.
Yeah.
Your job is to determine what is their goal and what we can offer them based on their goal. And most of the people we're not going to be able to work with. But there's going to be 1 out of 10. There's going to be 2 out of 15. And those are the ones that we want to focus on.
Yeah.
And that's the training.
Yeah.
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 And just seeing you do it. Seeing, okay, listen, sit here. I'm going to take these calls. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pre-qualify them, and I'm going to give a suggestion on what we can do for them.
I see. And just see how they pick up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, for everyone out there, he did not tell me to say this. Best marketing by far. We've done cold calling. We've done PPL services. We've done other PPC services. Nothing has compared so far, and the numbers show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these guys are absolutely obsessed with getting the absolute best leads. And the fact is, I mean, we're spending millions every month. We've got the best top reps at Google that can help us to really navigate. You have to spend millions with Google before they even let you talk to a human being.
Yeah.
Before that, it's all automation and AI.
Yeah.
So we actually have a rep, so we know all the new trends and what's going on and algorithm. We figure out some things.
Yeah.
And if you build it right initially and build it specifically. Not just like most PPC agencies set up the same way for everybody, which works faster. That's why people do it. They love it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They get the testimonials in the first 2 weeks. They're like, that's great. And then it dies in 90 days. Truly. We do it front loaded to very, very, very specific for the market, and that goes long term.
Yeah.
Have you guys started the Google My Business and SEO stuff yet?
No, we have not. We're actually...
Did they talk to you about it when you were in yesterday?
Not yet, but we might be getting there soon.
Brother.
Yeah.
Brother.
What's that about? Hold on.
I'm telling you. Well, the beautiful thing is, so Google My Business, there's 3 parts of Google search, the front page. There's sponsored, there's that map that comes up with different services, and then there's the organic searching, right? And Google's by far the most powerful place to be for marketing.
Yeah.
It's not even close. The first page of Google is the most powerful place in marketing. And so with sponsored, with the pay-per-click, you're that first third, right? But then the Google My Business part, where we're going bananas with, you get all the reviews. There's very specific things that you need to do, but it doesn't cost you anything on a monthly basis. Once it's set up, you just keep putting reviews in, and it starts building it up. Because Google really wants you to be like a local business. Right now, you guys are nationwide, so you're going to have to pick certain areas. There's some nuance to it. We got you covered. Not a problem. And then SEO is all about ranking organically. And so that's there's a lot that goes into that. But once you do that, once you build that, it's not like an ongoing monthly cost.
Yeah.
So really, the top is what you're paying for every month, which is great. Keep increasing your budget there. But then the other 2/3, you triple your leads.
Yeah, that's nice.
And once it's set up, you're not paying monthly for the other 2.
Jeez.
Right? Yeah.
Cool. I can't even imagine what that would look like.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
We're getting like 10, 15 calls on Google My Business a week. And that's
a contract a week.
And that's just. But we're local. We're here.
Yeah.
We built it up a little bit, but that's. I mean, we really unloaded that 3 weeks ago.
Jeez.
So it's only been 3 weeks since you. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So. There's definitely. I'm telling you, man. We got a brain trust in here.
We already know the numbers show they don't lie.
You guys also one thing that you did good, great. Besides like everybody else that we worked with, is you under promised and over delivered. We were expecting like the first 3 months, like 4 months of just not seeing anything.
Right.
Within like that first like second month to third month, we already have 100K in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, wait a minute. You guys told us that, like, not to see anything.
They're coming into my office like these guys. Yeah. These guys just graduated high school. They're got look at all these deals. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Yeah, we live by the motto right here over here, Silverstone Capital. We make something out of nothing and everything out of something. So if we have even the slightest opportunity to lock it up, we lock it up. And this is the one who like he embedded that in everybody, where it's like, all right, like for instance, we have a deal, the one in Kentucky, where we had to lock it up for 30, but when we sent the agent out there, it was worth 30. So we needed to go back to her and say, hey, like before we start this, what do you need to walk away with? And that's when he went in, reduced her down and to 10, got it for 30, but we would have never been able to even start that process if we said, oh, well, we're locking it up too high and it's not there. Now, obviously, there's motivation that ties into that. They have to be motivated to do that, but we don't want to just leave things on the table. We want to be like what Mike says in like the first video. He's like, be bullish. Like you need to be bullish and just lock up everything.
Yeah. And it started with the expectation too. Like I still remember that call. That first call when I spoke with her after running the numbers, same call, I straight up told her, I don't always do this, but for specific leads I do, because if you set the proper expectation, your life becomes so much easier. I straight up told her, I'm going to be honest with you, there has nothing that has sold in the past year here. And so what does that mean, right? I broke it down to her and I said, this basically means that we have no idea what your property is worth. And so while I can sit here and say I would love to give you 30, I will put that in a contract because if we can, we will. However, I want you to be prepared. That may not happen. And because I set that expectation, went in for the drop, $20,000 drop on a $30,000 home, okay? Was like nothing. Okay, I understand. Let's just get it done. All because of setting the proper expectation and the motivation from the lead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, we're truth tellers, truth seekers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you say it up front and you disclose it, then you set the expectations.
Yep.
You do your best. You give them the feedback and what's going on, and then you tell them, here's your options. We reduce it, or you keep it, or try to sell it with somebody else, or whatever you want to do.
Exactly. And a big thing too that we have picked up on, which you and Mike have said and kind of ingrained in us, is we are deal finders, not deal makers. Yeah. Even when we were in the beginning, we were trying to lock up properties like we knew it was way too high, but we were like, but there's an extra, apartment on the garage. It could be worth more. Every single time it's just dead. Just dead. And so second we started realizing that, it was like, what do we know is a deal? Let's lock it up. Everything else, we're not going to mess with
That's it.
100% of the time.
Love it. Tyler, Joshua, how do people get a hold of you guys?
DM us on Instagram.
Okay.
We're mainly on TikTok, but the DM us on Instagram. Like mine is joshua.jmddouche. Once you type in the .jmd, I should pop up like this in this shirt,
Yeah, and Instagram as well. I mean, if you message us, we're usually pretty quick to respond, which I'm assuming you'll probably leave it tagged in the video or something.
We'll get it tagged. We'll get you all in there. But you guys, reach out to them, especially if you are in Chicago. If you are interested in this business and you are employed. Now
that we learned that.
And hungry.
Then definitely reach out. But also, guys, if you need some help, if you need some mentorship, these guys, it sounds like you guys are willing to pour back into the community, which is
100%.
Absolutely
awesome. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Of course,
thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely
we really
phenomenal.
appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us for another podcast episode. If you are ready for the absolute best motivated seller leads, go to talktopeople.com. Talktopeople.com. We've got something for every single budget. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People. I love you. I'll see you next time.